played really hard to the end.
Yeah, this whole week we emphasized just belief and getting back to what we know we can do, the basics. So practice like we always do, but with a little more belief, and we're able to come out and play better than we have in the last few weeks. Unfortunately, still didn't get the win, so it's a really tough loss. But yeah, super excited for next week.
What was it like for you getting that, being able to get back down?
Yeah, it's been a long process for me after my injury in fall camp, but just super grateful to God that helped me heal up quick enough to get back out there and kept me healthy too. So I'm just super grateful to God.
This Oklahoma team, very good offense. What were you able to do to keep them slowed down and really held them in check for much of the game?
Yeah, I think Coach Hill and the defense coaches schemed very well, schemed up a good plan for us, and when we do our job, defense is good. So that was the idea going in, is trust the scheme and just everyone do the job. And for the majority of the game we did, just a few that missed out.
Was there any adjustments made when the backup quarterback came in the second half, or did it kind of catch you by surprise that Gabriel wasn't back out there?
Yeah, it caught me by surprise. We hadn't heard anything, so it was a surprise. But game plan, their offense coordinator is still the same, so maybe not doing the same plays they would run for Gabriel, but they have a good quarterback that came in, and so game plan adjusted a little bit. Coach Hill took care of that, and we just trusted our assignment.
Cody, what was the play call on that pick six?
It was one of our get on the ball plays. It was they were having some miscommunication, and right when Jake snapped the ball, somebody came out of the pack that they had kind of in the middle of the field and came over and picked it off. He made a really good play. But for a split second, it was open, but they just made a late call and got a guy over super quick.
Like, go from the 2 to giving up the 100-yard touchdown. What's that like for an offense to deal with that kind of quick change?
It can be a little frustrating, but at the same time, you got to move past it. Just because the way the football works is they have to kick the ball back to us, and we have to go back out there and play on offense. So the biggest thing is just staying together. Let it sting a little bit, just so that we can use that as something to keep us going and keep us motivated to keep wanting to push the ball down the field and make plays. But we got to move past it. It has to be short-term memory. So that's something I think that we had.
What does that say about the resiliency that on the very next drive you go the length of the field and tie the game up?
Well, I'll just start off with Jake, for example. He threw the pick essentially. He's the quarterback. He's the one that chased him. He's the last guy down there chasing for 100 yards, tries to make the tackle. Next drive comes out and pushes us and helps push the ball so we can get a touchdown. So, starting from the top down, it's all about resiliency. It's all about pushing through adversity. And I commend Jake for leading us and his ability to do that, even when the mistake may, quote-unquote, be on him and on the play of throwing a pick.
This was the most you've been involved all year in the passing game. Are you about as healthy as you've been since maybe last year?
I think so, yeah. I was having a little bit of fun out there making some dudes miss. So, yeah, I feel really good.
What was the difference offensively today? Because the feeling appeared different as we're watching the game. For the offense, it's more confident, more swagger there. What was the difference for this team?
Something that I didn't even think about, but I just thought about it a couple minutes ago when I was outside, is that I think this is Jake's third game starting. So, usually when you have a quarterback that just starts kind of late in the season, he doesn't get those first couple games at the beginning of the season to get his feel and get all those things. And Jake has done a tremendous job of just coming in after the 2 games that we didn't do so well offensively, and coming into this game on a big stage that he did and make plays and lead like he's been leading 100 million times before. So I think that's the biggest thing. Just he had the opportunity now to have 2 games under his belt of filling things out, seeing how fast and how things move, and in a game like this make big plays because he had those 2 games under his belt.
Last couple questions for these two.
Do you think Jake's mobility kind of opens things up for Aiden in the running game a little bit?
Totally. Jake's mobility opens it up for us as well. There were some plays where he's doing triple option. He's doing a triple option, and they have to respect him running it. They have to respect him handing off the ball to a dude that just had 182 rushing yards, and then they have to respect dudes on the perimeter that are going to make dudes miss. So I think him being a triple threat helps us offensively and helps us as a team.
For both of you, oh, sorry, go ahead.
Alan, you said you were excited to go next week. What about today's defensive performance makes you guys think you can repeat it next week in Stillwater?
Yeah, it gives us the confidence, given that trust and confidence in the scheme and in each other, especially, that the other player right next to you is going to do their job as well, that we can go down and replicate the same thing and even better, because there's still things that we got to do, we got to fix, and, we'll take care of business.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah, thanks.
Questions for Aiden and Eddie?
Aiden, what was it like for you to be out there showing what we've wanted to see all year, have that opportunity to kind of put together that game?
Yeah, it was nice. Just credit to my offensive line, for providing me the opportunity to do those things, and A-Rod for, making the play calls and trusting the ball in my hands, and, for Jake, just, for opening the run game. So, I commend everybody. We tried to execute at a high level. It just wasn't enough at the end of the day.
3 turnovers, that's obviously good, and they turn them all into touchdowns, and you still have the ball with a chance to tie the game in the fourth quarter. How big was it that, the offense kept making plays?
Yeah, it's big. You can turn into a shootout, but if you can't take care of the ball, you won't win any football games. Simple.
How deflating was that 100-yard pick, and how resilient did the offense show that they marched right downfield on the very next drive?
Yeah, obviously it stings a little bit, especially when you drive all the way down, you get to the 2-yard line or whatever. But that's football. It's all about adversity, and it's life lessons, man. When adversity hits you in the face, how you gonna respond? So we still had time on the clock. We knew we was gonna get the ball right back. So it's just all about responding at that point.
Before that pick six, were you surprised you didn't get the ball on that play?
A little bit, but it is what it is. It happened, and can't do anything to change that.
Aiden, it looked like after the game, you and Coach Broderick were having kind of an emotional moment between the two of you. I don't want to pry too much, but could you just give us some insight to what he means to you and what that moment was?
Yeah, A-Rod, he's part of the reason I came here. No matter what people say about him, I always, believe in that he does what he does at a high level, and he knows what he's doing. And I appreciate him for trusting me to go out and perform, and trusting me to, because the ball's the program, and he let me have the ball in my hands, and I appreciate him for trusting me to do that.
Eddie, talk about the way the defense played today, kind of bounced back after a few rough games.
I think we made tackles. We prepared like no other this game. We knew what we had on our hands. I feel like we've been having that in us all year, so I knew we could do it. I knew we could compete with them, just like competed with Texas and all those other schools. And we had a bad few weeks, and this week we showed how we was supposed to play all year.
Eddie, it's now do or die time to get bowl eligible, one more game, but what can you take from this game going against one of the top teams into Stillwater?
That we're fine. We're one of them teams. We had the chance to go up on them late, and they made a play, and we're better than them. So that's how I feel. I don't think we got nothing else to say about them. They was a good team, but we better.
What do you think kind of went into some of the longer third down conversions that they had on offense?
Just execution by them, and us not executing it. It's just that's what they did. They're a good team. Now they ranked. They beat Texas, Bama. So they beat Texas, not Bama, but yeah, they're good. Number 12 you know, I had my hands full this game, so I already knew what was up.
For both of you guys, I know you came in this year, but what was it like, you know, the end, seeing all the boys walking across the field, the final home game? I know it wasn't the outcome you wanted, but what was that like?
It's hard just seeing people. I mean, we got one more game and trying to make that 1-2 game. So, I mean, be back Monday ready to play. That's how I took it because it wasn't my last game, so it was kind of different. The senior day was like with one game to play. So, if it was the last game, it probably would have been some tears coming from me.
Anything else? All right. Thanks, guys.
What's up, guys? All right. Well, I guess you guys spoke to some of the players. I don't know what was said, but proud of the guys. Obviously, didn't. That's not the outcome I was feeling, and even from before the game to the end, we felt like we had a shot at this, and probably said this way too many times, but we made too many mistakes, and you know, came down to the wire to the end of it. So proud of the guys' fight. Really no moral victories, and we know we can play with people. I'm glad that they were able to show it on the field. You know what I mean? So credit to Oklahoma. I think Coach Venables has done a great job with his team. They're resilient. They fight back from and then cause turnovers, and it's the stuff that I wish we could have done. And I like the way they won the game, you know, with offense on victory. And so credit to them. And you know, I don't know how it's looking with the Big 12 championship game, but it looks like they're in the mix. And so, you know, we're in a situation now where our backs are against the wall, and if we want to extend this season, we got to win next week, and we have to do it on the road. Go to Oklahoma State and try to find a way. And proud of the guys. I think they'll keep working hard, and hopefully we can play our best game next week. But this one felt like this was missed opportunities from us, and to give Oklahoma credit, they were able to do some things and create turnovers and put us in some tough spots. But you know, we just have to find ways, keep working. We're building something nice here, and part of the building process that we have to find a way to try to extend the season so we can utilize those practices to develop our players. So, but yeah, just ready to take any of your guys' questions you guys have. So, yeah.
At 17, you're running the ball well down at the 2-yard line. Were you okay with that play call? Throw it in the end zone?
Yeah, the play call is an RPO, which means run first, you know. And you don't throw I mean, we went fast, so you don't throw the pass unless there's nobody covering him. And so I mean, I have to go look at it, but I don't think the receiver even thought the ball was going to go to him. You know, this is one of those moments where you just got to hand the ball off. And I believe they had two guys out on coverage, and that's from our read is give the ball. So, yeah, that's that. It wasn't like a beast mode type of decision back in the day. This was a definite RPO call, which is run is first, and usually you only throw the ball if you have the numbers out there and open, and try to go fast to see if we can throw them off in coverage. And sometimes you can get a cheap one where guys aren't noticing the formation, see a receiver there in the slot. Credit to the other guy, they made the play, and we made a mistake, and a costly one because you're about to go up by 7, instead you go down by 7, so there's a 14-point swing, which was horrible to go through, but the guys fought back, you know, and we fought back from that moment and tried to, and had our moments. But turnovers cost us. You cannot be careless with the football, whether it's fumbles or interceptions, and expect to beat teams. And in the turnover margin, we lost this one, and that's what it comes down to. And they were really costly. And Jay would tell me, and will say it over and over again, that we expect the defense to respond whenever we do that. That's why I go for it on 4th down quite a bit. I said, hey, listen, we're going to put the defense in a tough spot, but just be ready to go. And that's what we do. But
we have to protect the football. We have to. Otherwise, the system does not work. I want to be aggressive with going it on fourth downs, but we can't find ways to. And if you're looking at the turnovers, they were just, believe the one was just a mishandle with the ball. And then the other one was empty formation, which is third and short. And we just got to find a way to get the ball out. You know that there's pressure coming, and we have our hot routes and everything in place, and just didn't make the play, didn't execute. I had to see that one on film, but that's a tough one to put your defense in a tough spot. Although the defense is supposed to respond, it's just really hard to keep doing that to them over and over again.
What do you think of the preparation and the effort from this team to get ready for this game?
Yeah, the effort's been great, guys. Listen, some of the games that we've had when we've been blown out, the majority of the guys have given a great effort. I think some of the issues and guys, I think it's easy to say, well, they didn't give effort in this game and they gave effort in the other ones. The guys and the leaders are playing their butts off, you know, and a lot of it is the mistakes that are making it. Sometimes when you're making mistakes and you're not going 100%, it just looks like you're lost out there. But the guys work hard. We demand effort from all of them. And you can usually overcome any of the mistakes that you have with your effort and your energy. And that we just weren't able to do that. And when you're going against really good teams, and you turn the ball over that many times, and really, you know, usually you get knocked out. And so I think I said it when the Texas game, the defense fought, gave us a chance, you know, and that one phase was working for us. This one, I felt like all three phases were really starting to click. We're doing some really good things on all three phases. Our punt cover was a lot better. Our return game, I think Parker had a really good return, and then the next play we turned the ball over. So we're not building on the momentum that's already there, and it cost us. And I think offensively we saw some really good things, but the turnovers were such a downer. That's the thing we're going to keep going back on. And I don't care if quarterbacks or players think that we overemphasize that. It's like, take care of the stinking football, don't put it on the ground, and don't be careless with throwing the ball as well. So that ball does not belong to him. It belongs to the program, belongs to Cougar Nation, and that's obviously we're not doing a good enough job at emphasizing that.
Kalani, if Keaton is healthy next week, are you going to ride with him, or are you going to ride this thing out with Jake?
I think we'll see how Keaton made a huge improvement from last week to this week, and he had some really good practices this week. So I think going into next week, we'll have to evaluate that and see where he's at. I mean, it's Saturday right now, and Saturday, you guys got a whole day ahead of you guys. Wow. It's usually 2 in the morning when we're doing this. But, yeah, we'll see how it looks on Monday. But I think that's been always the plan, is go with the best quarterback that gives us the best chance to win. And so we'll see. I'll talk to A-Rod, and we'll talk to the quarterbacks. We'll see what that looks like next week, early next week. And I'll let you guys know as soon as I can. But looking at Keaton's progress that he made from last week to this week, if he does the same type of progress, I feel really good about him being on the field too.
Why the timeout at the end of the game? It was like 2 minutes left. Was the clock going to run again, or?
Yeah, it was going to run, and then we're just desperate. We're just like, you know, just like, hey, are you sure you reviewed it? Could you find a different angle and try to, you know, maybe there's a magical angle that shows up and his knee wasn't down and there was a fumble. I mean, I think we had nothing to lose there. And I wish I would have just called it earlier so they didn't have to break the formation, get out and set up the offense. And but we told that we were just going to do that, and I think that's why they looked at it extra carefully again, and the clock was going to be a running clock.
I know you said that you don't want moral victories, but you went blow for blow with a nationally ranked team for 60 minutes. Does that give you confidence heading into Oklahoma State next week with how you guys competed?
Well, I mean, when you moral victories, I mean, so you have to be proud of your effort and things that you did. But what I was proud of was the battle in the trenches. You know, when it looked like in some of the other games we were maybe overmatched or we weren't in the right spot, and a lot of that had to do with bad technique. This one is like I felt like the guys were fighting back and forth. It's not like we dominated them up front and they dominated us. It was a good back and forth. Unfortunately, they were able to grind the clock out and get the win at the end. I would like to see our guys like respond differently and try to find a way to get the ball back. But Oklahoma's a really good team, man. I know that Dylan wasn't able to come back and play, but they have good players all over the place in great depth, and that's what we're trying to build here. And so, I felt like their quarterback came in and he took care of the football. Looking at what he did, Jackson Arnold took care of the football and actually ran the ball pretty physically, so they put it on his shoulders to win the game, and even when they needed a first down, they were able to allow him to throw the ball. So credit to them for making the plays to win the game, and disappointing that we gave up so many turnovers that cost us a lot of points.
Aiden said he was a little surprised on that goal line, the pick six, that he wasn't in the game at that point. Why wasn't he in there at that point? And did you have discussions about just giving the ball to him again on that drive?
Oh yeah, that's you just keep feeding the beast that got you there. So yeah, I think the key was to run the ball. It didn't matter who was doing it. That run the ball first, go fast, get the ball to the running back and get him downhill. That was supposed to be the. I'm just gonna tell you guys that I'm not gonna sugarcoat it, and don't make that throw. Hand the ball off to the back. That's a simple play. Maybe it'd be easier just not to take the pass option away from quarterbacks. But I think that this is a tough lesson for Jake to learn. But I think he had the one where he threw the ball into Isaac, and he kind of knifed the ball in there. It was a good throw, and maybe he was feeling momentum and felt like he could accurately get the ball to the receiver in that play. It's like you can't take those risks, especially against a really good team.
How much does Jake's lack of ball security in this game impact his chances of being the starter next week?
Yeah, that's what I care about. I mean, I think you guys have heard me say that I've seen too many times where quarterbacks have been careless with the football, and not just quarterbacks but other players. That if you don't show that you can take care of the football, then it's a big part of us playing. We've had some players that have shown bad ball security, and they just don't get on the field again until I see it, and I feel comfortable with it. And that's just me. I'm telling you, I don't take care of the football, and we can work from there. But and really just go through the system that we have. But I don't want to throw guys under the bus. But I don't know how else to tell you guys. I want to be transparent and honest with you. But that's a really tough a tough lesson to learn when you go through this. And we had an opportunity to win this game and get the fans storm the field, stuff like that, and it didn't work out because one way or another we didn't take care of the football enough. I mean, there's 3 turnovers that we had right there, and it cost us points, and one play cost us points the other way, and it was a huge 14-point swing, so that was tough.
Kalani,
Last question.
This is the.
I'll go here then here. That's okay.
This is senior day. There's still another game left. But what's it like watching those boys walk across the field? I don't know how many will be back, but watching them,
Yeah.
and what they've meant to the program this year, despite the whoops.
There's a lot of them that were on had a senior day game last year. They came back, and so those guys are done for sure. But there's a lot of guys that still have another year of eligibility left, and as we go through the decision-making process for them, I hope they look at this as an opportunity to come back and play. I think we just wanted to. You guys are used to me saying we just want to cover it, and people are saying, well, that's a lot of names, like 30 names or so, but I hope a good number of them come back because we need them. We're trying to do something special here, and we need them and their leadership. And so hopefully we get that answered out in the next little bit. But we also need to, get this one win so we can extend the season and hang out a little bit longer and develop our guys even more.
You had an excellent performance from your run game today. What do you think went so right for them, particularly from Aiden Robbins?
Yeah, I thought Aiden was hitting the hole really hard, and I thought also the threat of Jake as a runner was a big factor too. So when you put all that in, sometimes quarterbacks don't have to run for a lot of yards; they just have to be a threat to keep a defense honest, and I think that was a big factor in it. Regardless of who plays quarterback, they're going to have to be a threat to run the ball too and create with their legs. So whether it's Keaton or Jake next week, we're going to have to see that from them.
All right, thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Kalani. Enjoy the rest of the
What are you going to do with all your hours?